Hello, welcome to the new video. In this video, we will cover creating views for viewing the data we have in Entity Framework. For this, we're going to have to use models and we're going to have to create one. So let's get right to it. So basically, I have changed the index for the admin panel. It's not just 3 buttons. It's a grid system that contains, it will show information on weapons, and then it will have a button to add new ones. Same goes for skins, same goes for collections. In the meantime, between videos, I have also added all of the collections available, as you can see. Okay, so since we need weapons and skins and collections on the same page, we could just inject the context, but instead of doing that, we will create a model for the view. So let's go to admincontroller.cs, and now we can, inside the folders, we can go to CSGO collections, right click it, add a new folder called models. Inside here, we can create a new class called admin index view model. Okay, so inside here we will need all the weapons. So we need a public list of weapons. Get set. We need a public list of skins. Oh, my bad. And a public list of collections. This is it for the model. Now we are going to use this model inside the admin controller index. So for our model equals new this, but we have this underscored. We have to use a using for the models namespace. So we can now add weapons. We can just use a link to get all the weapons we need from item in context weapons, select item to list. And this is it. This is all we need. Now we need the same for skins. I'm just gonna copy paste this, and collections. Of course, we're just gonna change this with collections and skins. And that's pretty much it for the model itself. Then we can just pass it to our view as a model. Of course, we're gonna have to do the same thing inside the index file here. We have to use a using CSGO collections models CSGO. Although it is underscored, but it won't be much longer. Model admin index view model. Okay. So now for each of these cells, we are going to create a for each loop. For each weapon in weapon, I just shorten down to W, weapon in model weapons. We are going to put the weapon type. Name. I'm going to put W name for the weapon name and W description. I'm going to wrap this up in P paragraph. Got to do that. Alright, this is it. Now if we can run this. Now the good thing about views is that you can save and run the application. If you have the model correctly set up, then you can make any changes to the view without having to restart the application. So we can just preview the weapon, and if it works fine, then we can move on to skins. You'll see that I actually made some changes to the UI as well. I got rid of Bootstrap and added Metro UI. So, dashboard. Now we'll see if it will throw an error or works just fine. And it threw an error. Okay, so it's not looking at w.type.name. I thought this might happen. There's w dot weapon type ID just for now, so we can see it in action. See, it works pretty well. Let's do the same thing for collections. For collections, it's going to be a lot easier. Press F5, then it will give us all of the collections. Just the same paragraph as well. Class center line, and we're going to have center aligned. Okay, this works. Now we can do the same thing for skin. Skin s in model.skins. This won't work, apparently. Oh, no. Actually made a mistake here. I'm going to use dot. A description, not collection. What am I looking for? Quality. Quality? Yeah. Quality ID. Now here I'm going to use s.weapon ID s.name and then keep forgetting about the B's. s.description comment, not collection, comment. Okay. This we can use as best exterior. S dot worst exterior. and if we refresh, we'll be able to see our red line. AK-47 red line, minimal wear to battle scarred. Could have although used this. Whoops. If you refresh this, all doesn't work. That's it. Okay, so we pretty much have this printed out. Let's create a new weapon. Here we can go to add weapon, or here add weapons. I didn't change anything here. Let's go to op to be filled sniper rifle, and we can add the weapon. Alright, we have the op added. Now I couldn't find the description because Steam Market is down, as we can see. Nope. Okay, now we can add a new skin for the op. Say it's Viper to be filled. Viper belongs to the Italy collection. There's a class not restricted. Not working. Okay, so it's restricted with Viper. That goes from battle scar to minimal wear. Great, exactly what I needed. And does it say that it belongs to Italy collection? Yes, it does. Okay, so it's restricted. That goes from minimal wear to battle scar. Add the skin. Go back to the admin panel. There we go. Awesome. So as we can see, this seems to be working pretty good, and this is the way to get the data from the Entity Framework database to your view. Now, here's an addendum about why this isn't working. We couldn't access the weapon ID, well, the weapon itself, and go for the name. If we did this, same here for weapon type, name, and collection, there's nothing. Quality, name. Okay, so now if you run this, why is this not? Oh, type.name. If we were to save this and run it. So, after intense debug session and arguing with Entity Framework, I came to a solution. The problem was the lazy loading doesn't really work well. It required some sort of connection to that table beforehand. And if we take a look at the AppDB context, I removed virtual from these. I left virtual on iCollections. I renamed lists to iCollections. And inside the admin controller, to load weapons with including weapon types, I had to include using Entity Framework core, and then I got this method available, .include, where I had to include the weapon type from that model, and then I can just use toList, convert all weapons to lists. So I did the same for skins, but for skins I had to include collections, quality, and weapon. Although collection and weapon were already here, so it wasn't really a necessity, but I just want to make sure everything works. And then when I started up the admin dashboard again, as you can see, rifle works, classified quality works, and everything is as it's supposed to be. I've also managed to get in some changes to the looks of everything. And that's about it. So this is it for this video. It took me a lot of time to come up with a good solution, so sorry for the edit with not much explanation, but this is basically how you get things working. And okay, so this is it for this video. In the next video we will take a look at editing existing files. Editing existing rows in the database and saving those changes. So stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you then.